My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people. You must follow your heart or, in many cases, your religion or your faith. Do what's right for your family and do what's right for yourself. Do what's right for your children. Do what's right for our country and vote. So important to vote. At the end of the day, it's all about will of the people. That's where we are right now, and that's what we want, the will of the people.
All right, President Trump issuing a pretty definitive statement on abortion, how he's going to talk about it, what his view is, and let's get reaction from two of our favorites, Tony Perkins from the Family Research Council, president of the Family Research Council, and Mark Halperin, political analyst and all-around genius. Tony, first to you. You're very pro-life. No one questions your credentials in that realm. How do you feel about what President Trump laid out?
Well, Greg, first, I want to say we wouldn't be having this conversation if it were not for the policies and the personnel choices that Donald Trump made during his presidency. We've seen the overturn of Roe v. Wade after nearly 50 years of abortion in this country. So I would say that, but I disagree with the president that the work is done at the federal level. There is still a lot of work to be done, both at the state level, and I say that as a former state policymaker who actually passed a number of pieces of pro-life legislation, but there's a federal role. But it's about building consensus. I understand that. But I think there is consensus right now that there shouldn't be government funding of abortion or facilitating in any way. And I do think that consensus is building that there should be a threshold across the nation at which we should protect all human life. Now, that said, Greg, I'm for supporting life at the moment of conception going forward, but we're not there as a nation yet. We've got to continue to work on this.
All right. Just before we go to Mark, are you, for the meantime, satisfied? I mean, is this going to be an issue that you...
Well,
let me put it to you this way. Mike Pence is upset. He's saying things. You've just said what you've said. Lindsey Graham. Is this going to be a problem for President Trump going forward in your area?
Well, I think, yes, there's going to be a little bit of challenge here, but I think partly we look back at what the president has done. He has brought us to this point. This I'm confident of. I've had conversations, not today, but I've had conversations leading up to this with the former president. If Congress were to reach a consensus on a piece of legislation and send it to his desk, I have no doubt that he would sign it. His record is very clear. He was the most pro-life president that we had. Now, I think we need to be very clear. There's work to be done at every level to protect the unborn child in America.
Mark Halperin, I think we've got some clues right there, how it's going over. But broadly, in Democrats, what does this all mean for the campaign?
Well, Mr. Perkins' view is fine with Donald Trump. He knows he's disappointed some people in the pro-life movement with what he did today. But politically, he's fine with that. He is, as Mr. Perkins said, the most pro-life president the country's had. He's advanced the pro-life cause more than any other president. And that's something that the pro-life community is very pleased about. And it's something that the Democrats plan to hang around his neck in the election. No one can formulate an abortion rights policy or an abortion policy that pleases everyone in the country. And those who feel strongly on both sides of the issue are going to find ways to criticize what Donald Trump did today. But Donald Trump's goal is to not lose the presidential election over the issue of his position on abortion. And that's what today was about for him, is to try to avoid losing on that issue.
And from what you know about both sides, I mean, does this in any way neutralize it, Mark, as an issue between now and November? I'm guessing not.
Well, I don't think it dampens the spirits of the pro-life community. They have a clear choice in this election. And by allowing states that have passed more restrictive laws to continue to operate, I think the pro-life community will be just fine politically when it comes to Donald Trump. The pro-choice community will, again, try to make him lose on this issue. And I think his hope is to change the subject. I don't think he won over anyone in the pro-choice community, but I do think it allows him to just refer back to what his position is and try to make this election about something else.
And Tony, this was well thought out. This is something that he had been kind of thinking about, I believe, for months. This had been on his mind. And I'd like to get your reaction to the latter part of his statement. Let's go with about D02.
You must follow your heart of this issue, but remember, you must also win elections to restore our culture and, in fact, to save our country, which is currently and very sadly a nation in decline. Always go by your heart, but we must win. We have to win. We are a failing nation, but we can be a failing nation no longer. We will make our nation great. We will make our nation greater than ever before.
I mean, there seems to be a sense like California and New York are never going to get rid of abortion, and we have to live with that and move on. I'd like to put up Vice President Pence's statement, which is, I got to tell you, it's very rich that he's sitting on the sidelines throwing darts, but President Trump's retreat on the right to life is a slap in the face to the millions of pro-life Americans. I mean, I don't know. All right. What do you think, Tony, about winning elections? And if I could get your reaction to what Mike Pence said here.
Well, first off, the president wants to make America great again. I'm with him on that. But I believe that in order for America to be a great nation, it must be morally a good nation. And I think nothing is more fundamental than the right to life. What I saw in the president today, and this is based upon a number of years of working with the president and respecting the president, but understanding where he's coming from and how he operates. I saw today's statement with a comma behind it, not a period. I believe the president is going to continue to pursue a pro-life policy. I'm not in any way trying to whitewash the statement. I'm disappointed because I think there's work to be done at every level. But I think the vice president does not give the president credit from what he has done and what he knows he has the capacity to do, and the people that he surrounds him with that will continue to push pro-family, pro-life policies.
Tony Perkins, thank you. And Mark Halperin, thank you both very, very much. To be continued.